The Invincible Universe is truly vast. And even though we've been thoroughly introduced to the story of the Viltrumites, one of the most powerful races, that doesn't change the fact that there have been countless other mighty alien civilizations, each leaving its mark on the history of this universe. Some vanished long before the rise of the Viltrumites. Others still remain hidden, quietly watching the evolution of galaxies. And those that stayed behind were either enslaved by the Viltrumite horde or wiped out in battle against the invaders. And, as we all know, in the endless cycle of life, the Viltrumites are neither the first nor the last. Meet Juggernaut, a female who can knock the very spirit out of the fiercest and most powerful warriors in the Invincible Universe within minutes. Warriors who, of course, belong to the same elite caste as Battle Beast. Just think about it. Juggernaut took him down in mere minutes, at a time when Battle Beast was in perfect shape, fully prepared for battle. Not a single wound on him. By contrast, when he fought the great Viltrumite regent, both of them entered the duel already injured, and that clash dragged on for days. So, even though Thragg had a magical sword when he went after Juggernaut's head, it didn't help him take down the monster in their very first encounter. In the new comics about Battle Beast, we've seen creatures that drowned entire worlds in blood and plunged them into absolute chaos. And of course, Battle Beast gave them a fight they wouldn't forget. Anyway, enjoy watching. Battle Beast, also known as Thragg, is obsessed with the thirst for combat and the thought of death in the heat of battle. He burns with a desire to be part of a bloody slaughter, as it is the only way for him to test his strength. He is in a constant search for a worthy opponent, and it's no surprise, since Thragg was born on a planet engulfed in endless war. By the time he reached fighting age, rage boiled within him, and he could no longer contain it. Over time, his strength matched his fury, allowing him to accomplish the impossible, to carve out a world for his planet with his own hands and put an end to the bloodshed. However, Thragg's rage did not fade. In fact, it only grew stronger. It became his curse, repeatedly calling him to his thirst for battle and blood. That is why Battle Beast left his home planet, to protect the utopia he himself had created from himself. Now, he has become a cosmic wanderer, obsessed with the search for worthy opponents, bags of bones and flesh on whom he can hone the art of death. But as we can see, truly worthy opponents, those who could withstand the full force of his fury, were few and far between, and finding them was no easy task. For long, drawn-out years, he pursued his dream, to find someone who in the heat of battle could grant him a worthy death, for only death could free the monster from the curse of his pulsating rage. After encountering the young heroes on Earth, who proved to be a complete waste of his time, his path led him to Colossus of Mzu. This so-called tyrant claimed to have conquered empires and to be a terror across the universe. Perhaps he was a terror to the universe, but certainly not to Battle Beast, who freed him just to test his strength. The monster possessed super-fast regeneration and easily shattered Thragg's blade. But Battle Beast was just getting started. He launched attack after attack with the fury of a leviathan, toying with the tyrant as if he were a mere plaything, until he realized that the opponent was not worth his time at all. Then Battle Beast split his foe in half, drenched in his blood. Despite the fact that Tyrant Colossus had been imprisoned for thousands of years and legends had grown around him during that time, the Dornian warrior realized that all of it was lies. Colossus was nowhere near as formidable as the stories claimed. After the monster was killed, Beast heard the alien larva crying out for help.
I do not know where I am, or who you are, but I am Prince Salaka, heir to the Fantanian Empire, and you have felled a great enemy of my people. If you could find more compassion within you to return me to my kingdom, I promise I can make it worth your while.
It turns out that several thousand years ago, Juggernaut, along with his brother Colossus, left their homeland of Mzu. To this day, the place remains a great mystery. It's unclear whether it was a planet, a pocket dimension, or something else, and set out for the once beautiful planet Fantania, where they carried out a massive slaughter. They easily crushed the local army and destroyed the royal citadel. The king, along with the queen and the prince, were swallowed alive. In that moment, the parents did everything they could to protect their prince, transferring all of their royal energy to him. This energy sustained the heir to the throne for centuries, preventing him from dying inside Colossus. To keep all power to herself, Juggernaut betrayed her brother and imprisoned him on a distant planetoid using a cosmic nail. There, he endured agonizingly long thousands of years until Battle Beast appeared, and as we know, destroyed him. It was then that Thragg discovered the fallen tyrant had a sister named Juggernaut, even more ruthless and deadly than Colossus himself. So it's no surprise that the next battlefield became the planet Fantania. The tyrant's blade, which Thragg had taken from the fallen Colossus, was transformed by a sorceress into a deadly weapon capable of harming even Juggernaut herself. Thus, Battle Beast became the owner of the artifact known as Drascula, or the Forever Blade, which immediately suited him perfectly. Thragg never lost hope that here on this god-forsaken planet he would find an opponent who could give him a battle that would shake the heavens and a glorious death. He could hardly have imagined any greater joy. In the comic, it is repeatedly emphasized that every moment of Battle Beast's life is agony, an unstoppable fury that clouds his mind. The beast exerts tremendous effort to resist this uncontrollable rage and not tear apart everyone who crosses his path. More than anything, he longs to put an end to this torment, for it is the only way to find peace. In the dungeons of the royal castle, Battle Beast finally found the lady for whom he had traveled such a long way. Juggernaut greeted him with her signature smile, and when she saw the blade, she realized that Battle Beast had already faced her brother. The news of his defeat, however, sent her into a rage, for until now, no one had ever managed to stand against Colossus except Juggernaut herself. The battle began. The first strike of her blade forced the beast to dodge, but he missed the second. The blade pierced Thragg through and through. The duel's opening promised much. Despite having a blade lodged in his chest, the beast closed in on Juggernaut, getting as close as possible to demonstrate the power of his fangs. His bite made his opponent howl in pain. Her flesh was exquisite in taste, but the brief meal did not prevent him from reacting lightning fast to her next attack. Then Juggernaut lunged with her entire body toward Thragg, tearing through a wall in the process. After a successful landing, his opponent acknowledged his mastery with the blade, then with a single precise motion, shattered it into dozens of flying fragments. Juggernaut, a massive presence, towered over Thragg. However, we must remember that, thanks to the sorceress, Battle Beast was wielding no ordinary sword, which still managed to pierce Juggernaut's armor. At one point, Thragg even considered that this battle might finally be his last. Yet, what brought him joy was not only the theoretical end to all his suffering, but also the thought that he would take Juggernaut with him. However, the villainess had other plans. She launched a furious strike, and the beast severed her hand. Life had certainly not prepared her for this turn of events. In response, Juggernaut hurled the beast as far as she could, giving herself time to heal and prepare as best as possible for the next battle. After all, she had underestimated him. After that, the villainess loses consciousness. However, Battle Beast is in no better condition. He is exhausted, bleeding, with a massive wound in his abdomen. The only thing that brings some solace to the battered but unbroken beast is that this battle is not yet over. To understand just how formidable Juggernaut is, consider the following. This battle was relatively short. The beast was at his peak, fueled by rage and the fury boiling inside him, yet after only a few minutes, both opponents needed a break. Additionally, Juggernaut had underestimated him, unaware of just how serious a threat Battle Beast truly was. For comparison, the fight with Thragg lasted several days, and Thragg is one of the strongest fighters in the Invincible Universe. He was born to be a leader. From childhood, he was trained to rule, conquer, and kill. It's important to note that both were wounded, yet it didn't stop them from moving at incredible speeds. The battle with Juggernaut, however, even at the peak of his strength and without a single scratch, threw him off balance in just a few minutes. And that's saying something, considering that the beast takes every battle seriously, unlike the one who underestimated him. So the opponent is indeed formidable, definitely among the strongest. In just a few dozen frames, Juggernaut shattered Thragg's spirit, forcing him to take a pause and tend to his wounds. After being thrown into the wasteland, He had absolutely no strength left to rise and continue the fight. His overwhelming rage and desire to fight receded into the background. Thragg simply didn't have the power to get back up immediately. That's how I see this duel. Maybe I'm wrong? I'd be glad if you corrected or added to it in the comments. By the way, how do you like the adventures of Battle Beast? Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments. I'd also appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps with promoting the content. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episodes.